Hello, let's have a bit of a bummer review of System Collapse, Mrdrbt number 7 by Martha Wells, published in 2023. The seventh installment in the Mrdrbt Diaries series. It's a science fiction series set in a dystopian future where corporations rule and exploit and enslave us all. So basically, like now. In this future, the main character Mrdrbt, they, them, or it, probably it, is a security unit, a rogue security unit, who has hacked its governing module. Security units are creations of the corporation. They have taken, basically, they've grown human tissue bodies and grafted and put on robotic stuff onto it, so there's sort of a weird amalgam of the thing, very much treated as objects, as property by the corporations, and the corporations are doing what they do, which is putting people in enslaving contracts, trying to exploit wherever they can, much like I get the sense, much like aliens. If they see some horribly dangerous ancient alien technology that could potentially kill us all, ooh, they want some. They hope to grab it and maybe figure out how to squeeze some dollars out of it, regardless of the consequences. Mrdrbt through the series has found some humans that it can tolerate. It doesn't have great respect for human beings, does not consider itself a human being, considers itself a Mrdrbot. Has found some sensitive human beings who are a university. It's a part of, they belong to there's a system which is an independent system from corporations, and these particular humans work for a university who is trying to kind of undo a lot of the things that the corporations are doing. So very much, going to be respecters of someone like Mrdrbot and their independence, their right to self-preservation and to self-choice and stuff like that. When I started the series, I was quite charmed by Mrdrbot. Mrdrbot was just like, I kill things, and that's fine. It's slightly kind of presents as sort of somewhat like somebody who's like on the spectrum and doesn't really understand social cues and things like that, but is completely addicted to real cheesy kind of soap opera entertainments, likes to watch its stories, has to deal with humans, has to deal with pesky feelings every once in a while, but doesn't really want to. I found that charming at the beginning, but that's sort of stayed basically the same throughout the series, into a sense of like you're into story number 7, and it's just continuing along with the same kind of what feels like a shtick at this point. That, and this is probably just more myself. It is very much, I think, it's self-consciously using sort of not like soap opera, but a kind of a serial adventure format where a little bit gets there's like the thing that happened. Mrdrbot has to solve a murder mystery. Mrdrbot has to get their humans out of a tough situation. There's an adventure for what are oftentimes, these are novellas. These have actually I think the last couple have been novel length. And it's like, okay, it's like an hour of TV. Going to novel length may not have been a great thing for Martha Wells. I can see commercially it is, just like you can sell it. You can sell a book a hell of a lot easier than you can sell a novella. People are more willing to, pay money for it, more money for it. But it's, in some ways, the novella length helped kind of condense it down. It's like, yep, this is like an hour TV show, that sort of thing. But it's sort of an hour TV show that told in slow motion, because that's the nature of how quickly. The last book was like 2021. This is 2023. And there's like an overarching story sort of that gets addressed tangentially, but we never really seem to get anywhere. So I'm also I'm frustrated with that. When I'm in the kind of like we're in a tough spot. We gotta get from here to there, and Mrdrbot's got to use their smarts and kind of try to deal with its whatever redacted thing that's happened. That's a thing. This book does open with the Mrdrbt saying like, oh, because of that incident, because of what happened, redacted, and it's like, oh, Mrdrbt, because it can't deal with its emotions, has redacted something, has eliminated something. I mean, can't deal with it in the sense of like it could have a systems collapse if it did. But instead of that, finding that kind of intriguing, like, oh, I must read on, just like, oh, we're doing that again. And sort of like, there's a lot of stuff in here. Unfortunately, it's like, oh, we're doing that again. And, you know, by the end of the story, have we gotten anywhere other than, yeah, they got out of that tough spot? Not really. I'm taking longer and longer between of each story to actually get back to the next one. This is totally a series that I don't pay for. If and when it comes up in the library, my library app, I will download it. But other than that, I don't want to pay for these books anymore. You know, in a couple of years, I will probably have forgotten, you know, how frustrated and bored I was by this one. Though the thing is, Martha Wells is a good writer in the sense of like, she's a good storyteller. I don't know if she's a good writer. She's a good storyteller. And when I'm in the story, I'm kind of enjoying myself, but she's not really getting to the fucking point. So it's frustrating that way. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with the Mrdrbt series. Started off with a lot of affection for it, kind of like accepting it as like, you know, the adventure of a week kind of thing. But by this point, number 7, I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of over it. In 4 years, when I see it's free in the library app, I can't promise that I'm not going to pick it up and read that and be completely confused and completely lost. Apparently, I went back and looked at the reviews of System Cllps, and apparently this is basically a part 2 of the story. But I don't know if it's a part 2 of the 2021 one or if it's a part 2 of a story earlier than that. It's kind of I don't know where it's actually. But I don't care enough to go back. That's the thing. I do not care enough to go back and reread and find out, oh, what did I miss, kind of thing, or find a wiki page. And it's like, this kind of stuff should be complete in itself, I think, to a certain degree. It should carry you along, especially since, you know, as you're reading these things, I'm not going to read them in one big gulp. I'm the kind of reader who reads something and goes, okay, I read that, and even if I really enjoy something, I was like, okay, I need a break now, and I'll go read some other stuff. I'm not somebody who just reads in one continuous thing. That might be your thing. By this point, maybe if you read all of them together, you're like, oh, you missed all the interconnections. Yep, I did. I just don't care. It didn't make me care enough. All right, I'll leave it there. More videos later.